Jai Hind everyone. Well, let me start today's class by asking you all a question. Don't we all have some or the other desire or longing that we harbor in our hearts at all times? Well, this longing has got nothing to do with our age or our societal setup or even with how affluent or economically compromised we are. And if one of our wishes is met, then we quite effortlessly create a new wish list for ourselves. But sometimes the actualization of these desires may lead to the realization of something deeper or greater or bigger. And that realization can then turn you into a different person altogether, isn't it? A person who is now a little more mature than before. So, in today's class, we take up the chapter Madam Rides the Bus, written by the notable Tamil writer Valli Kannan. And this chapter is from your textbook, First Flight. The story follows a very simple plot line and doesn't have any other major character in it but Valli alone. So let us now understand the chapter in detail. Valli, which was short for Valli Ammai, was an 8-year-old child. She was a very inquisitive and curious soul. That means she questioned almost everything that met her eyes. It's written, her favorite pastime was standing in the front door of her house, watching what was happening in the street outside. There were no playmates of her own age on her street, and this was about all she had to do. That means she didn't like to play with other children her age, or probably she didn't have the chance to. But what she did enjoy was standing at the doorway of her house and observing the numerous activities on the street. But there was one thing that she found the most fascinating out of all that, and that is, we are on page 118, the bus that travelled between her village and the nearest town. It passed through her street each hour, once going to the town and once coming back. That sight somehow filled Valli with some profound joy. Day after day she watched the bus, and gradually a tiny wish crept into her head and grew there. She wanted to ride on that bus, even if just once. Right? So now you might be thinking that what is so fascinating about a bus ride? Isn't it? It is probably one of the most passive or mundane things that one possibly does or gets involved in their whole day. But we have to perceive the world of Valli through her eyes, through the eyes of Valli. Alright? And through the eyes of an 8-year-old who hardly got the chance to step out of her house and who did not apparently have any playmates either. Now, gradually but surely, this desire of hers became so very overwhelming that she couldn't control it any longer. So here it's written, their faces would kindle in her longings, dreams and hopes. Now since Valli was resolute that she had to go on that bus ride, she had to plan for it well in advance. She couldn't have given in to her whims and fancies and decided to go on an impromptu bus ride, right? And she had to at the same time make sure that no one gets a whiff of what's brewing inside her tiny head. She had to plan it out in a secretive way, in a clandestine way. So she carefully listened to the conversation of the people who lived nearby her and regularly took the bus, like the ones who lived nearby her, and they are the ones who regularly took the bus. And what are the details that she could gather out of those conversations? It's written over here. The town was 6 miles from her village. The fare was 30 paise one way, which is almost nothing at all. This is written in inverted commas. That means these are the words from which to all. These are the words that are spoken by somebody else. Alright? She heard one well-dressed man say, but to Vali, who scarcely saw that much money from one month to the next, it seemed a fortune. The trip to the town took 45 minutes. On reaching town, if she stayed in her seat and paid another 30 paise, she could return home on the same bus. This meant that she could take the 1 o'clock afternoon bus, reach the town at 1:45 and be back home by about 2:45. So all these plannings were going on inside her head. And this also meant that Vali did not belong to that well-to-do a family. This proves that. And also that she was planning for a solo trip. So obviously she had to be very careful and calculative and also very discreet about the entire process. Then we head straight to the day when Vali steps out to actualize her long harbored desire. So the bus had actually begun to speed off, but then she did manage to stop it and get on it. Then what follows is a light-hearted banter, you can say, between Vali and the conductor of the bus. Vali, though being just an 8-year-old, refused to act like one and insisted that she too be treated as any other passenger, since she paid for her fare herself. So it is then that the conductor quite jokingly refers to her as Madam, and thus the title of the chapter. Now, to her surprise, the bus was new and everything inside of it shone and glimmered. So Vali's eyes, saw it all. Vali devoured everything with her own eyes. So that means that she absorbed and took everything in. She lapped everything in with her eyes. But when she looked outside, there was a blind hindering her view. So she stood up on her seat and to get a better view. Alright, to get a better view, she stood up on her seat. But it was right when she had just, begun to enjoy the beauty of the blue skies and the green fields that she was interrupted by a voice. She was asked by one of the passengers to sit down, and she did not, of course, like the fact that she was constantly referred to as a child. She says, "There's nobody here who is a child," she said haughtily, that means proudly. "I have paid my 30 paise like anyone else," and we are on page 121 right now. So even after everyone suggesting her to sit, she didn't. But then, after a while, when a few more passengers started to hop in, she did sit down as she thought that she might lose her seat. Now, the beginning of the third part tells us about how meticulous and thorough she was with the planning part. She had thriftily saved, that means she had very carefully saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like. And finally, she saved a total of 60 paise. How difficult it must have been, particularly that day at the village fair. But she had resolutely stifled, that means controlled, a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. But she managed this too without much difficulty. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. Vali always used these hours for her excursions, as she stood looking from the doorway of her house or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today, the same hours could be used to get her or for her first excursion outside the village, right? Such conviction and willpower is something that is very rarely found or seen in a child, that too who is that young, right? The paragraph that follows gives a glimpse of the journey through the eyes of Vali. The bus seemed to gobble or devour everything that came its way. Now, all of a sudden, a young cow was seen running to and fro in a frantic manner, right in the middle of the road, that too. Though the young animal was quite frightened because of the incessant movement of the vehicles and the constant honkings, this entire incident seemed very funny to Vali. Soon, however, the bus moved past, and then what took over were the dazzling sights of the bright looking shops and other items of merchandise. So the town had finally arrived, and Vali simply couldn't get enough of those beautiful sights. Now the bus had stopped, and everyone got off except Vali. So the conductor was obviously curious, and he asked her that why wasn't she getting off. She then explains that it wasn't her plan anyway to get off the bus, and that she's going to pay him another 30 paise and then get back on the same bus to her village. Here some conversation follows between Vali and the conductor, and this exchange of dialogues also proves that Vali was a girl of immense willpower and self-control. She doesn't relent to the temptations of the conductor offering her some drink, nor does she step out of the bus even once to explore the town a little, though she had ample chance and time to do that, yet she completely controls herself because she knew her boundaries, all right, or she knew that where to stop, where to put that boundary line. In the final part, we see her journey back to her village. This time around too, she did not feel bored in the slightest, but then her eyes met an unbelievably unpleasant and sorrowful sight. What had happened? There was a young cow lying dead by the roadside. It was most probably struck by a speeding vehicle. She then obviously, she is reminded of the cow that she had encountered, of the young cow that she had encountered while she was on her way to the town. So she then asks the conductor if it was the same cow that they had seen while on their way to the town. And when he nodded to that, when he said yes, it was so, the little girl was overcome with sadness. She could not process the fact that a creature that was so lively and full of energy just a while back had all of a sudden been reduced to something so horrible. She did find the corpse horrible, as it was covered with blood all over. This sight disturbed Vali so very much that she completely lost her enthusiasm and was haunted by the thought of what she had witnessed all through her way back home. You can say that within a moment, within a fraction of a second, Vali had actually learned, or she had actually to some extent understood, one of the most hard to process facts of life. As the bus now reached her village, Vali got down and ran straight towards home. When she reached her house, she saw her mother awake, and she was talking to an aunt of hers. Apparently, the ladies were talking about things happening in the outside world, and us, the human beings, not able to grasp or understand or get a hang of all those things. Well, this statement must have been a continuation of some sort of conversation that the two ladies must be into. But to Vali, it seemed to resonate with the things that she just experienced a while back. Things do happen around us all the time. We might accept them, and we might even not accept them, at least some of them. But probably we will, never be able to understand a few of the things. We might not necessarily understand or comprehend everything that happens around us, isn't it? So Vali very well understood this fact, like she could connect with that. She could connect with that part of conversation that was going on between her mother and that aunt of hers. She kind of in a mood of reflection says, "Oh yes," to this. and as a result, she is also mildly chided by that aunt for being a little intrusive in their adult conversation. Well, this statement was also a reflection of Vali's secretive bus ride. Actually, Vali took up a long distance journey all on her own, and her mother remained completely unaware about it. Right? So, there could be two possible inferences or interpretations of this statement. Also, this story was not just about Vali's bus ride, it was more about her journey into the dark and utterly puzzling realities of adult world. So with this, children, we come to the end of the story, and I hope that I have been clear enough with what this story consisted of, right? I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you.